Hello it's me. Welcome to my big end of the year wrap up video, which will be a video of many parts, including how much did I even read, top 10 books of 2020 ranked in order, DNFs that I just couldn't get through, top 3 authors that I've discovered this year, releases I'm most excited about next year, a book unhaul, a plug for the book club I'm part of, BookTube New Year's resolutions, and read-alongs I'm part of next year, big series that I want to tackle. First of all, before we jump into the actual substance of this video, I just want to say, well done for getting through 2020. It has not been easy, and goddamn, I thought this year was never going to end. This year felt like it was 4 years long, at least. And at the same time, I remember like 2% of it. We did it. It's over. Here's to a better 2021. How much did I read? While I'm not too into the numbers, I read 77 books this year. Maybe I can squeeze in a few more, because I'm filming this on the 28th. I think I'm a bit salty that a 2-inch book and a 5mm thick book both count 1 book towards your target. It seems like a cheat to me somehow, so I'm going by height, and my goal for this year was to read 6'2" of books, which is my height in books, and I put them all in a big pile. I didn't manage to do 6'2", but tell you what, it's not far off. This pile is 70.5 inches. The genre I read the most of was fantasy at 26 books, with 18 sci-fis in second place, 8 or 9 horrors, and a bunch of random other bits. Top 10 books of 2020. Number 10, The Sunken Land Begins to Rise Again by M. John Harrison. Winner of the 2020 Goldsmith Award, about a down-and-out guy working for a mysterious writer on a barge in the Thames, who is obsessed, keeps finding these weird green creatures in his poo. A woman renovating her dead mother's house by the side of a river that constantly floods. And in both people's lives there seems to be this mysterious obsession by the people around them with the Victorian children's novel The Water Babies. Number 9, Paul Takes the Form of a Mortal Girl. This is a story about a character who can change their sex at will, falls in love and faces the dilemma that maybe other people won't be able to accept the dual nature of them. They're lost in a world full of people that fully know themselves, and they're trying to work out what they are, where they come from, how they fit in. Amazing book. Some really good music mentions in there. Number 8, Hag. Current modern authors were assigned a fairy tale based on an area of the UK that they live in, to revisit in their own style and retell in a modern way. I was blown away by this. It was so fantastic. All female UK writers. A lot of new names I'd never heard before, but looked up afterwards and was not disappointed. Like Irenison Okoje, I've started reading some of her other work as well. Fantastic. Number 7, The Terror. This is about 2 ships trying to find the Northwestern Passage through the ice above North America to open new trade routes between Europe and Asia. They're ill-prepared, they underestimate everything. It's a horrific book filled with tragedy and death at the hands of the ever-present ice. All the while they are stalked and picked off one by something huge and white out in the fog that the local Inuits tell them is not a bear. Number 6, The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. This one's set in the future after humans have discovered alternate universes and a means to travel between them. But there's a catch. You can only travel to another universe if the you in that universe is dead. So the people chosen, called traversers, have to be taken from really disadvantaged backgrounds where they've survived against all odds and life has crapped on them again and again and again. So the chances of them existing are pretty much none. That was our book club pick for October, and it was really, really good. I was so impressed, and it's a debut novel. Number 5, Dead Astronauts by Jeff Vandermeer. The sequel/prequel to Jeff Vandermeer's novel Born. This one is even stranger and set in a ruined city, in a world where a mysterious bioengineering company has ravaged the land with their creations. A blue fox that slips through time, a leviathan rotting in a pond, rebels waging war against an apocalyptic company, and a madman haunted by his own creations. What else do you need to know? Amazing. It's like walking through somebody else's fever dream. Number 4, The Once and Future Witches. I picked this up purely based on the fact that Alex Harrow's debut novel, The 10,000 Doors of January, was so good, and this one totally lived up to that. It's a world where witchcraft is accepted as a thing that exists as a part of reality but has been stamped out. 3 sisters lead a resurgence in magic, retaking female power alongside the suffragette movement for the woman's vote in a town in the US called New Salem. This is hot stuff. Just incredible storytelling, A+. So good. Read this book. Number 3, Salt Slow by Julia Armfield. A new weird short story collection. Not a weird short story collection that's new, although it is, but a new weird short story collection. It messed me up how good this was, and it's a debut. I'll talk more about this one in a bit. Number 2, Devolution by Max Brooks. A town in the mountain is cut off by a volcanic eruption and lava flows just destroy the roads, flushing all wildlife out of the surrounding forest, including Bigfoots. This sounds dumb as all heck, but this book manages to make Bigfoot balls to the wall terrifying. This is a horrifically scary book, and I'm not even joking. This is the best horror I've read all year. Number 1, best book of 2020. I cannot peg this book enough. Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Oh my god. I've been waiting for this for 16 years since the release of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and let me tell you, this was worth the wait, every minute of the wait. The book is about a man who lives in a never-ending house full of statues and is visited occasionally by a figure called the Other, who brings him gifts, sets him tasks to sort of lay the groundwork for the Other's mysterious plan. I can't really say much about this book without totally spoiling it, but the review of this book is currently my most watched video, so definitely check that out. I'd love you to read it. Let me know what you thought of this book if you have. In fact, I've got reviews for all of these books on my channel, so check out all these reviews if you like the sound of them. If you've read any of these books, let me know below. DNFs. Books I couldn't get through and have no intention of finishing. This is the bit for those. There's not many. I usually force myself to finish a book even if I hate it. But listen, life's too short to read things that suck. So first on this list is The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever by Stephen Donaldson. Okay, the title sounds amazing, and honestly that's why I picked this book up. The concept, bonkers and amazing as well. This is 3 books in one compendium, the version that I have. It's a story about a guy who has leprosy, distances himself from the rest of society, is somehow transported to a magical fantasy land. That's all very classic high fantasy. Lots of tropes, cliches, but not in an ironic way. There's a lot of ambiguity as to whether he's actually there or whether he's just gone crazy, almost kind of like Life on Mars, that BBC series, if you've seen that. Listen, it sounds good, but it reads like somebody who is not good at writing is trying to carbon copy Tolkien. The characters, for me, were just so unrealistic, so unlikable, with totally wooden interaction, dialogue that felt forced and cringy, no consequences for the main character's things he was doing at all. I DNF'd this book after about 200 pages, didn't even get through the first book in the series, which was called Lord Foul's Bane, if I remember correctly. I know a lot of people really like this book. A big chunk of people call it the very first grimdark fantasy, but it just didn't do it for me at all, so I'm giving up. Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. Right, this sucked too. I got 2/3 of the way through. It honestly starts off okay, but it's written, it's very much a man stranded on a desert island succeeds because he's so amazing story. There's quite a bit of 17th century casual racism to look past. And if it was a really, really good book, I probably would have been willing to try and look past it, but it wasn't. There's a bit where he's in the Navy and he says something to the effect of, "And then our ship was taken and I was a slave for 2 years." He just glosses over that, but then he'll spend 3 pages or 2 pages describing how he stores fruit or how he makes a table out of bamboo. This was so boring. It was so boring. Just lame. Ugh. Mostly Hero by Anna Burns. 0-page breaks, justified text with long sentences that you can't take a break from, and a story that makes no sense. Wowee, no thank you. This one is about a woman called Femme Fatale who is cursed. She's under a spell that makes her keep trying to kill her boyfriend, who is a superhero named Superhero. You ever get when you're reading a book and you're like, I am not the target audience for this? It was kind of like that. This is cliche after cliche, poking fun at superhero stuff, with weird language and inane conversation that feels like it's trying to do that Tarantino thing where they talk about inconsequential stuff to make the situation seem more real. I don't know. It didn't work for me, and I DNF'd it even though it was 60 pages long. That's how much I didn't enjoy it. House of Niccolo by Dorothy Dunnett. This is a historical fiction. Honestly, I tried to pick this one up so many times. Got about halfway, or that's where my bookmark tells me I got to. Honestly, it made such little impact on me that for the life of me, I couldn't tell you what this book was about. Besides maybe men in Renaissance Italy who opened people's post and broker information. Maybe. That's what my back brain is telling me. Who knows? Not me. I'm not going to try this again, so I'm going to DNF it. I've got some books that I haven't finished yet, but that I do fully intend to finish, like Paris by Starlight, Robert Dinsdale, and Broken Ghost, Neil Griffiths. I'll get round to them eventually. Also, Dune, I'm reading again at the moment. Best New Sci-Fi, 21, and Arctic Dreams by Barry Lopez. 2021, exciting releases. Stuff I'm really excited for this coming year. There aren't too many. I'm not very good yet at keeping up with new books, but that's something I'm going to try and get more on the ball with in the future so I can read stuff as it comes out. I usually hear about books like a few months before they're released. But there's two on my radar, for next year that I am quite excited about. I'll tell you what they are, and I'll read you the Goodreads blurb for them. The first one is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. I've not read anything else by Jay Kristoff, but this sounds chef's kiss. 27 years have passed since the last sunrise, and for almost 3 decades the creatures of the night have walked the day without fear. Once humanity fought bravely against the cold-blood legions, but now we exist only in a few scattered settlements, tiny sparks of light in a growing sea of darkness. Gabriel de Leon is the last of the Silver Saints, a holy order dedicated to defending realm and church, now utterly destroyed. Imprisoned for the murder of the vampiric king, Gabriel is charged with telling the story of his life. His tale spans years, from his youth in the monastery of Saint Michon to the forbidden love that spelled his undoing, and the betrayal that saw his order annihilated. Most importantly, Gabriel will tell the story of the Grail, the legendary cup, prophesied to bring an end to the eternal night, whose location is known to a single person, a smart-mouthed teenage urchin named Dior. Their journey with a band of unlikely allies would see Dior and Gabriel forge an unbreakable bond and set the broken paragon on a road to redemption. But now the Grail is shattered, and with the cup of the Redeemer destroyed and the last Silver Saint awaiting execution, what can bring an end to this undying empire? Very cool. Sounds very cool, right? The second is Hummingbird Salamander by Jeff Vandermeer. I'm obsessed with Vandermeer. I've read everything he's written so far. I'm up to date. So I guess I can read his stuff as it comes out. He's very easy to stay on top of for me. Security consultant Jane Smith receives an envelope with a key to a storage unit that holds a taxidermied hummingbird and clues leading her to a taxidermied salamander. Sylvina, the dead woman who left the note, is a reputed eco-terrorist and the daughter of an Argentine industrialist. By taking the hummingbird from the storage unit, Jane sets in motion a series of events that quickly spin beyond her control. Soon, Jane and her family are in danger. With a few allies to help her make sense of the true scope of the peril, is the only way to safety to follow in Sylvina's footsteps? Is it too late to stop? As she desperately seeks answers about why Sylvina contacted her, time is running out. For her and possibly for the world. Also sounds very cool. Maybe a bit more real-lifey than the rest of his stuff. I don't know. It's hard to tell from a blurb with him. Top 3 best new authors I found this year. Julia Armfield. I didn't know I was looking for Julia Armfield. I picked up the book because it had an endorsement on the front from my favourite author, China Miéville. So I was like, okay, we'll see what this is about. It was short stories in a collection called Salt Slow. I was just blown away, start to finish. I'm usually somebody who reads for plot rather than style or language, and it's not something I often pick up on or consider. but this impressed me so much that I read every story in here twice. I love new weird. It's probably my favourite genre. Cornerstone founded by China Mieville and M. John Harrison, but it looks like it's been growing under my nose without me noticing. I just haven't been aware of it because sites and stores don't really have a category for it. They tend to just lump it in with general fiction, science fiction, sometimes fantasy. But this is as new weird as it gets, Salt Slow. And it looks like I'm not going to have new weird come to me. I'm going to have to go out looking for it in strange places. But definitely read Julia Armfield. This is their debut book. I cannot wait for more. It's so original, so strange, super surreal, and at the same time really intimate and personal. Just a fantastic author, so much potential. I'm excited for what's coming. Micaiah Johnson. I read A Space Between Worlds by this author this year. On Google it's actually listed as being by them and somebody called Jay Conrad. I'm not sure why, because my book copy doesn't credit Jay Conrad. This book was so well written. You can just tell it was so meticulously planned from start to finish. They knew where they were going as soon as they put pen on paper. Twists and turns I wasn't expecting. Loved all the characters, even the bad guys. Just hit me out of the left field again and again. Didn't give me any time to recover. Wild ride. And the author is currently doing a PhD in race and robots. So it sounds like they're pretty dedicated to sci-fi. I'm excited to see where their career goes. Because this too is a debut novel. Kinnan Jones. I picked up this author's book, Still Aside, because it was one of Waterstone's bookstore in the UK Books of the Month. I think it was actually originally written for radio and put to paper probably about the same time. In terms of style and author skill, I was so impressed. If you like authors that feel really rural, who capture things like desolation, loneliness, directionlessness in a changing landscape, an author who ties landscape really closely into their work, then definitely check out Kinnan Jones. This isn't a debut, this is an author that's been going for a while, but all their books are really, really short, so you can probably mash out 2 in an afternoon. That's how small they are. But still, definitely worth a read. Book UNHAUL. I am not good at this. I should probably do it more. So I'm getting rid of the DNF books, the stuff I didn't finish this year, and also a few more just to try and clear out my intimidating TBR pile before 2021. Or whittle it down a bit. So I'm also getting rid of The Other by David Guterson, because it's been sitting on my shelf for years. The Glass Book of the Dream Eaters by G.W. Dahlquist. I tried really hard with this one. The narrative jumps around so much. It was just exhausting me, and I couldn't get more than 300 pages into it, and it is a 800-page book-ish. I'm also unhauling the Millennium Trilogy, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo books by Stieg Larsson. I've seen the movies. I like the movies. I tried book 1. It's not that good. Goodbye. Book club plug. I joined an amazing book group this year called the Interstellar Book Club. We read 1, maybe 2 science fiction books every month, and we talk about them live on YouTube. It's really good fun. I'm having a blast with that. I'll link the other 3 co-hosts of the book club down below, which are Steph from Coffeeoverapples, Jessa from Gabbinwithjessa, and Melody from Strawberrylemonbooks. Our January and February picks are the first 3 books in the Wayfarer series by Becky Chambers, in preparation for the 4th book, which I think in the UK is coming out mid-February. I'll link the 3 channels down below. I'll also link the Discord down below for the book group. Feel free to join that, jump on, talk about some sci-fi with us. It's going to be really good. Hoping to get it busy in there by the end of the year. So check our book club out. It's good. I think it's good. And I'm not biased in any way. How could I be? Booktube New Year's resolutions. Number 1, don't go more than a week without uploading something. Number 2, learn how to do music and sound effects. Number 3, read about 1/3 of my physical TBR. Number 4, read my height in books. Number 5, get involved with some buddy reads. I love buddy reads. If you are reading something and you need a buddy, let me know. My Twitter DMs are always open and I'd be happy to try that with you. Number 6, the last one, actually use Goodreads. Oh my god, I need to make a Goodreads this year and stick with it and put some written reviews up. Am I being overly ambitious with 6 resolutions? Maybe. I work well under pressure though. I'd also like to start keeping a booktube journal thing, not as a resolution, but as something that will probably help me keep the other resolutions. I need a big wall calendar with dates and stuff on. Hopefully I can be organised this year. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Stuff I have planned. Okay, so first, big series I want to finish this year. Next year. Big series I want to finish next year. I'm 6 books into Naomi Novik's Temeraire series, and I guess I've been reluctant to pick that up this year because I would have to make a this series so far video, but I'm just going to suck it up and do it. It's the Napoleonic War with dragons in it. Naomi Novik is so good at world building. It is totally her strength. And in this book, it's just a great showcase of that. I'm 7 books into the Dresden Files series, hoping to get up to date with that by the end of the year. I'm doing individual review videos for each book in that series as I read it. So follow this channel if you like that stuff. The Wayfarer series with the book club, as I just mentioned, so stay tuned for that. Book 4 is going to make me cry. I don't post individual reviews for the stuff I read as part of the book club because we do the live streams for it, but I do have a playlist of all the live streams we've done so far, so check that out. It's on my channel page. The Expanse series, because it sounds really good and I really want to watch the TV show, but I refuse to without reading at least half the books first. I'm really excited for this one, actually. I am hyped. It seems like it's going to be a more grown-up and clever version of Saga of Seven Sons, if you know that series, which was totally my jam, so this, I guess, will be my fancy jam. I'm also, and this is a big one, going to try and read everything written by Brandon Sanderson, which I'll be reading along with Ben at Ben's Blurb, and also as part of the Cosmere Crabalong, the Twitter and Discord for which I will link below, for both. This is probably the task this year that's striking me at the moment as the most daunting, but honestly, it's not much more than a book a month, so I guess I'm just being a scaredy cat. The link section underneath this video is going to be beefy. So listen, it's a busy year, I'm excited. In April, I will have been on BookTube for 1 full year. I'm excited for that. I'm going to watch my first video again and cringe until I throw up. It's been great so far. Easily the highlight of this crap year. Met some fantastic people, got involved with things that are definitely on the up and coming. When you start something like this, you never realize or anticipate it becoming a big part of your life. And just everybody has been so amazing, so supportive and creative. Honestly, a lot of people have really helped me a lot, giving me some advice for the channel. I'm still learning how to edit good. Hopefully I'll get some better hardware at some point, but for the moment, this is doing its job. This is forever a learning curve and a self-teaching experience for me. So get on Book Twitter as well. I know there's some drama on there, but there are also some lovely people. I cannot wait to interact with more of you in 2021. More booktubers and just readers. Say hi in the comments down below and I'll check your channel out. I'll also link my Twitter in the description. Follow me on there. I'm pretty active on there. I post most days. So merry belated Christmas, if that's a thing you celebrate. Have a bloody fantastic new year. And have a 2021 that is 100 times better than 2020. Stay healthy, stay safe, keep reading, keep being brilliant, keep creating extraordinary things. Big love to everybody. And I'll see you next year. Bye.